everybody.
Hello, welcome back to Read the Manga. Hope you're here for a scare. I don't know if this will be a scare, but it's almost Halloween. We want to make an episode for Halloween, so
Yeah.
why not?
So, be prepared for a scare.
No.
Let me try it again.
No, we gotta do the thing.
Fine. Let's get on with it.
Okay, we're tackling Satsuki, or what do you?
Satsuki that can see corpses.
Satsuki the Hold on, I got the name right here. I'm sorry.
Of course.
I'm joking. We're having a laugh. Ha 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 ha. Okay, liar Satsuki.
Okay. For the rundown, we are gonna have our friend Gear do the explanation. I recall to the manga. I know the rest of it, but I want my friend to explain this to me since he brought out the manga.
Okay, so the manga is about a girl named Satsuki. She is known for being the liar in her school, for stating that people are going to die at specific times. She has this ability to see not dead people, but premature deaths that could happen in the possible future. So she can somehow see it, but she does not know how they happen. And the manga is basically about her trying to prevent some of these deaths from her classmates, her friends, and figuring out how to prevent them and keep them alive. And it's a very interesting mystery slash
Manga?
Yeah, it's a mystery with a little bit of slice of life with it. But it does have some what do you call it, like, I don't think we would call it gore, but I would call it, like,
Horror?
Somewhat horror, disturbing. There are some separate heads and beat up bodies. And some of the depths that they kind of go into are very sort of realistic, too. It's not like just like there's a monster just coming around killing people. No, it's like real life depth stuff, like dying from electrocution, some sign falling on your body and cutting your neck in half. It goes into that a lot of most possible situations that would happen in real life, and they do it the author does in a way where it feels like, okay, this is a life or death situation. This can actually happen. Like, oh God. And people don't believe her because, well, would you believe someone that could tell you, like, oh, you're gonna die today? Let me make sure that doesn't happen. Of course they're not gonna believe you. They're gonna laugh in your face and be like, haha, yeah, you're crazy. No, that ain't gonna happen. And then, oops, they might die. So her whole deal is to make sure everybody survives. And she meets a couple good friends along the way. She meets up with Akira that tried to kill her. Yeah, that was... I'm gonna try to explain this. Like, her dad is a garbage human being. He stinks.
Yes, he does, but not only just that. Her dad has the knowledge of being a doctor.
No, that's Satsuki's father. We're talking about Akira's father. You know, the one that threw cake on the floor and made her daughter eat it?
Oh, that. My mistake. Well, I can understand how that feels like for having a parent that wasn't perfect.
Yeah, the parent wasn't perfect, but he was just an awful father to begin with. No wonder his wife left and whatever. Like, he pulls off a nice face, but when the cameras aren't watching, he's a complete maniac.
Yeah, I can understand how that feels like and what it's like for that. And after understanding that about what the child's going through, it's understandable that they have the right to feel this way.
Yeah, so Akira tried to like off her dad with a baseball bat, and then Satsuki finds out about it. Like, well, she doesn't know exactly why in her premonition why the dad is all bloodied and bruised with a blunt metal object. Until we find out, we know Akira's backstory of why she was attempting to do it. But she doesn't. Her dad's still alive. She does plan to move out, and with her mom that she finally got info of, and eventually moved with her instead. So yeah, it goes a little bit like that. There's some darker themes in this manga that are really interesting, especially there is a heavy level of some bullying moments here in I think chapter 2. This girl named Miho who's bullying this one quiet girl Komachi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she almost dies. There's a little twist with it where Satsuki, you think she's gonna like offer. No, she like scares her enough for her to pass out. So they would call the hospital and check her head because apparently her head, after so much damage and how much like she fell so much, there's a puncture in her skull that if it wasn't checked, she would die if she got hit one more time.
Yeah, that would happen in reality to a lot of people, and some that are different.
Yeah, so I love how the manga always have these interesting situations of how people could die and how it's like a Phoenix Wright thing. Like, he has to put all the evidence together and then figure out, like, okay, that's how that's gonna happen. Now we gotta prevent the thing from happening. Cool.
Yes. There's also an article saying that a kid was able to stop a fire thanks to Fire Force manga.
Well, that's interesting, and that's Fire Force. We're not talking about Fire
We're
Force.
not talking about.
But that is an interesting. But that's an interesting example, though. I'll give you that. That's an interesting example.
Yes.
Well, okay. There is something interesting that's going on with the manga as well. With Satsuki having sort of this survivor's guilt, and we kind of getting hints of it, what it could be for, because her mother's not around, and her dad is he's cool. You talked about him before.
Yes, I did.
Before. We'll get into him in a little bit, but there's a thing about like her mom not being around, and it's been this whole thing like she can't not let one person die, otherwise she would never forgive herself for it.
As if she wants to make amends, be able to make things right, be able to stop it.
Yes, she has survivor's guilt, or some extent to survivor's guilt, where I'm just spitballing here. Her mother died. She had a premonition of it, and she didn't tell her, and she probably died because of that.
Yes, and as a result, Satsuki wouldn't exactly have the survival. I mean, she does have it now, but if she were to stop that from happening, she would have not have it at all.
Well, she probably didn't know. She didn't probably knew about this whole premonition until recently. And now she's doing, like, she will go further beyond to keep people alive, to nearly electrocuting herself through weird means, to falling out a window and preventing a sign from cutting off your head and arm. So, yeah, she will go further beyond for you to protect you from dying. She's that dedicated. Also, she's in a very adorable cinnamon roll when it comes to friendship. It's hilarious.
Oh, she's so cute.
It's hilarious. It's good stuff. There's a lot of good slice of life moments here too, where she knows so much about math, but yet she does not know how math works. It's just like, oh, it's easy because it's already solved right in front of you. And I'm like, no, don't say it.
Oh, no.
You don't want to just like bluntly say like, oh, this thing is so easy. Oh, this thing is so easy. You can do it in your sleep. And it's like, how? It's like, oh, oops.
Yes, but the most important thing is that Satsuki was able to grow and be better, to be able to protect and save people, and she was able to become better. And even though she was able to stop this, she had Akira, Komachi, her friends and all, and even though Satsuki did explain everything to Akira and all, Akira became a better person thanks to Satsuki.
Yeah, she helped change her life for the better, as well as props to her dad for raising her that way. Because there's a point where, when we talked about the whole math thing, there's a student that doesn't make it to the top on her math test, and she is devastated to the point of nearly throwing herself in front of a moving train. And then we see her mother, and then the police go take them to like the police station, and they talk about it, and they call her parents. And we get to see the girl's mother, and she is I would
a
like
bad
to,
person.
I would like to say some words like, yeah, she is a bad person. She is a bad person. See, I had some commentations, but okay.
So do I, but at least I was able to restrain myself, and I was able to mention about the bad person part.
Yes. Like her props to her dad for like straight up like slapping her in the backside of the head, like, yo, you do not talk to your daughter that way. Respect human life because it's pretty short. And like he tells her like, just because you got like a low grade doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Pretty true stuff, because that stuff actually does happen.
Yes, and to be honest though, it doesn't matter if your grades are low or anything, as long as there are people who appreciate about how much hard work and how much effort you did, that's what counts.
Like, as long as you tried your best, it's good enough. You can always try again. Like, that's the thing. It's not a big deal.
Yes, so anyone else who's struggling, gone through that, just don't let anything else bother you. Just think about what you are and have the people around you accept that you did your best.
Alright, I wrote this one thing in my notes. Kamachi, questionable sauce, or suspicious. There is something about Kamachi that, throughout reading this, is kind of making me question what happened to her back in her earlier years before. I don't know. It's something that Mio knows, because in a couple of chapters, she just goes up on her and reminding her about, like, remember what happened a couple of years ago, and like, what happened a couple of years ago that she thinks that she is not a nice person. So either she did bullying or she had something or whatever. But it is interesting and it got me invested. I want to talk. Well, we've been talking about the story. We didn't talk about the characters for so long. Jeez, the story is that good.
It is rather interesting. So why don't we get to the characters part?
All right, so let's talk about characters. What do you think of Sasuke? What the heck? That scared me.
Sorry, you were asking about Satsuki?
Yes, that was unintentional. Okay, what do you think about Satsuki?
The thing about Satsuki, she is a great character. When I start reading the manga, I see a girl who's trying desperately to be able to help people prevent anything from that. And even though she's been through a lot, has a good dad with knowledge and tired to be right, there are times that she wanted to do something to atone for a mistake. It felt like seeing yourself in a mirror. You were originally that person, and whatever changed you, whatever made you better, and whatever people who accepted you, see you as a good individual, you've changed.
It's like the whole Batman thing. Struggle, traumatic events, and then you become a vigilante saving the world.
Kind of like that scenario.
Yeah, like I like Sasuke a heck of a lot. She's a great protagonist. Always keeps me on my toes every time I read every chapter, because I don't know what the heck she's gonna do next, and it's great to have a character like this because it keeps every chapter very interesting.
Yes, and thanks to her character development, it made me understand to be aware about what it is of your friends, your family, help them see what's going on, be aware of it, come up with ideas, see what their thoughts are on others. It's like you gotta be supportive and cooperative to help.
Yeah, I think we could talk about like maybe a few more characters. Akira, tough girl. That girl would punch you in the face.
Delinquent type
character, but she's a really good friend at the very end of the day. She may be very harsh with the way she says it, but there is some truth to it. To the point, like, there's a point where these horrible girls that are bullies are about to die, and she said, "Why even go help them in the first place? They were never nice to you. They literally wanted to take $500 off you just so they'd listen to you. They don't deserve to live." And then, like, there is some truth to it, but she also told her, like, you're not alone in this. Don't do everything on your own. Let me help as well. So, yeah, she's great. Came a long way from being straight up killing her dad to a great character in about a couple of chapters. Great stuff. Any other character we can talk about? I think, like, one more would be just fine.
Well, let me think. Oh, what about that girl that was wearing a wig?
Oh, yeah, Miho. That weird girl. Yeah, the bully type character. We never talked about her that much.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. So, she was kind of, sort of an antagonist for the first couple chapters, for the most part. And then she's eventually... She does develop more than most of the other characters that were saved. Because we see her again, she's wearing a wig, and then she's captured by this weird girl, and she was gonna, like, I don't know, she was gonna, like, humiliate her on some reason because she gets excited about that kind of thing, and almost gets burned alive, and then she comes back again for the recent chapters, and we find out that, oh, she's gonna die again for due to poisoning or something. And then, like, she is still from fighting between being a bully to trying to be a good person, and then going back again. But then, like, now she sees what Satsuki is really all about. She does become a better character. She does actually listen and becomes her friend at the very end of the chapter. So that's really good. Good with her. She gets involved. I think maybe we need to at least talk about her, because we talked a little bit of her during like the story portion, and that is Kamachi. How do you think about Kamachi being like this nice girl, but yet is definitely hiding something? What do you think?
Well, I think that she was very nice to have by most of the part and all, but there is a real secret about her that we don't even know about yet. We are interested to see what goes on, but let's see what happens from here.
Yeah, so she's a really nice character for most part. Like, and you do see there is something she's hiding. Like, her eyes always darted away. Like, there's always some like, something away most of the time where she's brought to be nice most of the time. So yeah, there is something something that did happen in her past, and I'm interested to see where that goes. So in terms of like the artwork's beautiful, really well done, and also the depths do look good too, even though I can't really say how good that it looks to see a dead body on a page, but it's convincing. It's good stuff. So overall, we always grade these mangas, so we always grade it from good or bad or in between. So what you would rate it from, like 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest? What would you grade Liar Satsuki?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I will also give it around a 10. Maybe around, 10 out of 10.
Then we got ourselves a vote.
Yeah.
Satsuki-chan, the Liar manga.
Is a 10 out of 10. It's a fun experience. If you want a good mystery manga that delves with some depth, experience, and actually gives some nice little details into that, while also having good characters, a very fun premise, all in one, I say it's definitely worth checking out if you have the time. And if it does come to America, definitely check that book out and support the artists as well.
Yeah, and let's hope that this manga gets into an anime within a few years when it's ready.
Maybe sooner than we think. Maybe next year. Who knows? So spread the word. Check out Liar Satsuki. Is going on for like at least one for a little bit. So hope you guys enjoyed this Halloween special of Read the Manga, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, then. This has been Jude.
I'm Gears. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.